All right, so I brought 2 boxes with most of my baits, actually. It's got most of my baits. So we got the 2 boxes with most of my baits, and we got right here a cast net, a new mirror lure. New mirror lure, that's just a nice mullet pattern mirror lure, and some barrel swivels, because I like to use barrel swivels instead of doing a leader to line knot kind of deal. So we're gonna actually pop open the cast net and take it out. It's just a 4-foot cast net, nothing too fancy. I just needed a cast net because I had the one on the boat and that's actually deteriorating, and I got the boat one and then I got this one. So with that being said, it just is gonna help. Both of them are like 4 foot. On the boat, I don't really think you need that much, because you can get right on a school pretty much and cast over it as long as you got a buddy with you. So I don't think it's a huge deal to need that on a boat, but for here it would be beneficial to potentially have a bigger net, but nets are expensive. They are very expensive. We're gonna have to get creative, because I don't actually have anything to hold any sort of bait. So we're probably gonna have to go along the lines, get something really crazy here, get pretty crazy up in here, and take this guy out and freaking use the inside of my cooler here. I think that's what we're gonna have to end up doing, because that's the only way I can store any bait. It's gonna probably be this. So we're gonna probably go see what we can do. Throw the net a couple times, get a live bait rod going. The water is definitely high. Water is definitely high. It's super clear. Seeing some mullet and some activity out here. Alright, got some water in our bucket. Hopefully I'm gonna even be able to reach any of these spots that the mullet are gonna be in. Because honestly, it's freaking, the water is really high. Oh, got some. Yeah, that was quick. Got a decent amount of them. I'm gonna figure out some sort of lid thing for this, because this is like a perfect size mullet or something. Just find something. You know what? I'll probably just grab one of my boxes. Here, I got 2 rods, just 2 simple stuff. Just use one of my boxes to sit up on top of it. Act just like a lid, because I see them jumping out already. There's some flaws in this. Oh goodness, 2 of them already jumped out. This guy's a little bit on the big side. Turns out I actually got another one that's up here a lot further. It must be stuck up there. There you go. There we go. So we got a really basic setup, and most people will probably disagree with this setup here, but it works pretty good. Anyways, because we're dealing with some brackish water. So because we're dealing with brackish water, it's not a big deal if you use like just straight braid. I mean, you might if they get finicky, but because we're just going to be using a bait rod, they're going to want to eat this anyways. So I just got a little float, and I went with a little float because we're not going to catch giants here more than likely, but we can still catch like 20 inches, and it just makes it a little easier to see and kind of notice. And then a little treble hook right here, and that's just going to be simple setup and really easy. should catch fish. And then over here, we got a little swim bait from Wyze Guyz. And this little swim bait right here on a ball jig head, that catches a ton of fish as well. That's gonna be my active rod, like actively searching, actively casting. And I'm probably just gonna set up this rod, to be honest, and just kind of let it sit. So we're just gonna hook up one of these mullet, let them go swim around, potentially get bit. So mullet and then swim bait. We'll do a little test to see. Oh yeah. And the water should go out a little bit, so it should make this a little bit easier. A little bit easier. Oh, got something. Oh, trout. Got a nice little trout. Look at this guy. Look at that guy. Beautiful looking fish right there. Beautiful fish. This guy was caught on the Wyze Guy. Wyze Guyz tackle, Bambino, and the golden night color right there. Nice fish right there. He's got both his fangs. Let's get a release on this guy. There he goes. Swimming off. Taking his time. Alright, hopefully that's going to be a good thing. I didn't expect that to be the first fish. I kind of noticed he was right over in here. He's right over here next to this wood. I wonder if maybe I should position my live bait over a little bit. Maybe that's not the spot that they want to be right now. It's Bambino. These Wyze Guyz tackle baits, I feel like, are so underappreciated by so many different people, companies. Like, it's just crazy. These things just catch fish. Like, I got a live bait, a live mullet, an actual mullet out there. And I just caught a fish on the Wyze Guyz before this thing, before the mullet gets one. Now, granted, it could be, placement. Could have something to do with the placement. It definitely could do that. But, like, the fact that I caught one before that is just cool. Doing this little technique I have here for paddle tails. I think that it drives them nuts. Honestly, I do. Ooh. Oh, that's another fish right there. That thing thumped it. Thumped it. On the technique I was talking about too. You guys can see this. Just so neat. Ooh, he's a nice fish right there. Nice fish. Hey, this guy. It's probably like, oh my gosh, look how he's got that thing. It's splashing the heck out of me right now. Goodness, look at this thing. Oh, come on. He's got that bait choked. Choked. Seems like they're right on the edge of this river here. This creek mouth, I mean. He's got that thing choked. Just choked in it. Might have to go over. We're gonna have to switch it. Just popped it out, just like that. Now we're gonna try to get a cool release on this guy. Get a cool phone video. Right there. Right there, he just swims off. so cool. All right. Hopefully now we are actually back to fishing. Hopefully. Water is still going out pretty good, pretty nicely. I'm just hoping I can get a couple more. Couple more nice trout. Of course, my GoPro had to make a huge deal. As soon, man, I keep seeing these mullet flashing right on the bank here. But my GoPro had to go and decide it was wanting to crack the bed and be full. Had the SD card be full. Right as I caught probably the biggest fish of the day, probably gonna be. And I can't believe that happened. But it happened. We fixed it though. We got our GoPro back up. Took a little bit and some ingenuity. Oh my gosh, something is chasing these bait fish right here. I think I might have to back up. I think they're literally coming onto this bank. Like, these bait fish I think are getting chased right here. Another one. Got another one. Nice looking trout. It's actually a really nice looking trout. Such a beauty. It's a big boy. Got this beautiful fish right here. Gonna make sure it recovers nice. It just swims right off. Look at that thing. Monster. Monster trout. Just keep him a rod tip high and just barely moving the bait. Like moving the rod tip. I'm barely moving it, but it's really like shaking and moving the bait, like making it look really, it's struggling pretty hard. Like it's a really wounded bait. I don't know if you guys can see that right here, but I hope you guys can. It's kind of darkish water, but it really glimmers it and like makes it glimmer, makes it shine, makes it, you know, just do weird stuff. And that's like what you want a bait to do. Is to just do weird stuff that fish just thinks is like a normal bait fish that's hurt, that's struggling. It knows there's prey in the area. It's trying to look normal, but the more it tries to look normal, the worse it's actually looking. Might have to let it sink a little bit more. But yeah, this water is definitely coming out of that creek, and I think that's where the fish are coming from, that creek. They're coming out from out of that creek. Current's definitely picking up. I thought with this cloud cover, I was just gonna say, I thought with this cloud cover that it would make it easier. Ooh. It's a good fish. The red, I think. That's what's pushing them. The reds. I kept seeing like wake. Shoot. You gotta be kidding me. Freaking redfish got me all tangled up. Got me all tangled up. You're tangled up, I'm tangled up. That right there was just a braided knot of awfulness right there. Basically my live line had gotten tangled with the redfish, and so I just had a braided mess right there, and it was just awful. But we did catch several trout and I think 1 or 2 redfish by the end of the time there on the bank. And I'm telling you what, the top producer here in this situation was the Wyze Guyz tackle Bambino. I'm telling you, if you guys are not using those, link is in the description below.
They are $3.99 a pack for those Bambinos I used. $3.99 for 12 of them. You cannot go wrong with that. Do not break a bank to catch a tank. I'm telling you guys. I've been trying to tell you guys this forever. So go do yourself a favor. Go buy Wyze Guyz tackle right now. And then don't forget to smash the thumbs up button, as well as drop me a comment in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you guys, even if it's just saying, hey, love the videos, or if you have a legitimate question on how I was working the baits or something, please also don't hesitate to leave a comment. I always answer them. I try my best to always answer them as soon as possible if the notification kind of pops up on YouTube. For some reason, I've been having some issues with that, where the notification has been letting me know every YouTube comment that's been coming in for some reason. So I'll try to get to that as soon as possible. I really don't mean to leave anyone hanging out there. I love to hear from you guys. I really do. It's awesome. It makes me feel good whenever we get comments, because it's kind of like I spend every hour all the hours trying to make those videos. So whenever you guys comment, it's like fulfilling those hours, you know what I mean? So I thank you guys so much for that. But it is that time of the video where, if you're not seeing that video right there, please check it out, as well as this awesome video down below. Don't forget to subscribe. It's your last chance to subscribe. Hit the bell notification so you guys can know every Tuesday when I drop a video at 5 p.m. on the East Coast side. And as always, fish now, worry later. We're out of here.